Finally, on Nairobi on source of revenue. I thought I heard the governor say the other day that he had increased it, he had raised more revenue than was ever raised. I'm not sure about that. But I want to tell you that that is a Nairobi County affair. You, Mr. Alai, should not be asking me. The public should be asking you, because you are the person. You are the person responsible. You are the representative of the people. You should answer that question. You should be the one to interrogate the county government. It is your responsibility of oversight. It is your responsibility of representation. It is your responsibility of legislation. You should legislate how the county resources are raised. You should oversight the county government to collect it. I just want you to take up your job and do it. Let me, Gray Marwa has asked me two very important questions. Marwa, these are very important questions about corruption. Let me say the following, just three things first. Number one, I said before that corruption must be dealt with firmly and decisively. And that is why my act number one in office, the two acts that I did in office when I came into office was number one, to make sure that I give financial autonomy to the police so that they can pursue corruption to the extent possible, and that they don't have to come back to me and nobody in my office to control the police in as to whom they want to prosecute. That's number one. And I signed, and the budget of the police is run by the IG at the moment, and they are free to go after everybody. That's number one. Number two, I made sure that the judges that had been denied the opportunity to serve and to empower our judiciary, I signed them, and I made sure that they have been gazetted and they went to work. I did not stop there. I have enhanced the budget of the judiciary from 18 billion to this year. I wanted to be at 25 billion. Unfortunately, it may come down because of the finance bill by about $1 billion or so. Number three, I am the president who has sworn in the highest number of judges in 2 years in the history of Kenya. I have sworn in maybe 46, almost 50 judges, because I have agreed with the judiciary that justice delayed is justice denied. And therefore, I want to make sure that becomes the case. Number four, on the specific incident of what happened with fertilizer, I want to tell you, as I tell the people of Kenya, those where evidence has been gathered, sufficient evidence has been gathered, they are in court. The CEO, the general manager, and 7 other staff of the National Cereals and Produce Board are already in court. The minister was taken to parliament to answer for political responsibility, that to make sure that his oversight role was in question. I want to tell you this, Gray, that we are a country of the rule of law. When a person has been, when allegations are made against a person and they are not verified, there is no way that such person can be held to account. But when they are verified, like the case of the officers who worked under the minister that were verified, they are in court. I want to tell you, if a minister, if a principal secretary, if there are verified allegations of corruption against any cabinet minister and or any principal secretary, the day they are taken to court, I will fire them. I will not wait for the court process, because there will be an element of confirmation that these are people who are corrupt. Let me talk about jobs. And you have said correctly that the public service has issued a circular that there will be, the public service has a freeze on jobs at different levels. People who are employed at entry level and the space around jobs is huge. government can only hire a very small fraction. My intention, my plan is to make sure that government facilitates the economy, facilitates the private sector, facilitates the entire enterprise space to create more jobs. It is the reason why I made a deliberate commitment to the people of Kenya when I went for the elections, and I said I will focus on creating jobs. And if you want me to explain to you the areas where I am focused on creating jobs, I will. If you want me to tell you how many jobs I have created in the 2 years that I have been in office, I will tell you, from housing, from digital jobs, from going to manufacturing, all the way to export of labor. I will tell you how many jobs I have created, and I have every intention to make sure that as many Kenyans as possible have an opportunity to have an income so that they can contribute meaningfully to the development of our country. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this chance. Maybe ask some few questions to the president. I'll be very brief. I only have 3 questions for me. One, Mr. President, is that like most of the people have said, is that your government is full of lies. Because of one, I want to put it clear that when the Finance Bill 2023 was passed, we believe that the revenue that was going to be collected during that period were going to be used for development. Personally, I come from a Masab constituency, and on February of last year, the CS for Transport, Bonamurkomen, came to Kabiet Shrines and promised us that there is a road down there that's going to down from Kurgun to Cheptegei, coming down to Kapkatembu. He said personally that since that this is a road that was left midway by the contractor, he was going to send the contractor in a record 3 months to be on site so that the road can continue, so the contractor can start the construction. Up to now, we still haven't seen that. So that basically tells you that that is a liar. Number 2, I think the Gray has talked about the issue of fertilizer. You've said, Mr. President, that if you find that there is a case against the said minister, you're going to fire him. There's a case that has been filed by the Law Society of Kenya against the Minister of Agriculture. If kindly, we can tell the minister to step aside so that, trying to investigate someone who is in office becomes very hard. So let the minister step aside so that we can continue with the investigation. Number 3, I would want to talk about the arrogance that is in your government. I have heard Mr. President say that the issue of Finance Bill 2024 was, I think it was packaged in a way that maybe you should have done it better. Yes, you should have done it better. The reason being, the people you sent out there, since the MP for Molo, on the issue of the motor vehicle levy, at some point in the TV, he told people that, if you cannot be able to pay that, just leave your vehicle at home. That is the arrogance that was being displayed. The leader of majority in parliament, Kimani Ichung'wah, even went out on a podium saying that, that these are the Gen Zs, they come with the phones, go to KFC, they come with the arrogance that fueled it wasn't even more finance bill. It's the anger that has been building up. It's been building up. So people were really angry because they've paid, people sold their land,